What is up, guys? Thank you so much for being here. So today I just want to talk about why you don't always necessarily need backup iron sights on your rifle or even like a quick detach mount. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. So let me start off by just saying that I'm not like an ex-military or like some super tactical cool guy like that. So, just so you guys know, I'm just an average citizen who likes guns for fun and home defense, and I fully support the Second Amendment and how it was written. And so anyways, I just don't want you guys to think that I'm somebody who I'm not, like try to act like I'm super military or tactical or anything like that. I'm just a dude and this is just my opinion. So with that being said, let me first start off with kind of explaining when you would want some quick detach mount or some iron sights. And I mean, obviously it depends a ton on how you plan on using your rifle and how you plan on like setting it up and all that. So for me, this is more like for my setup, since I'm using LPVO, which is a low power variable optic, which basically means that it can go from 0 to like a small amount of zoom. Some of them go like 1 to 4 or 1 to 6 or 1 to 8. This one goes 1 to 6 power, and I chose that because it kind of gives me just enough zoom on the long end, and it's a higher quality glass because it is Trijicon, and so that 1 power is pretty easy and quick to pick up if you want to try and use this more for like close target shooting or whatever. Now, if you've seen my channel before or you've seen my video on how I had this down defense rifle set up before, I did have an American Defense quick detach mount with a Trijicon 1 to 4 power on there instead of this 1 to 6, and I did have backup iron sights. And the reason why I decided to take that stuff off is because I found that it was just too much weight. Now, I'm a small guy, so this may have a lot to do with that. If I was jacked and huge, then maybe I wouldn't care how much crap I had on my rifle because it wouldn't matter, But seeing how I'm like 5'6" and I weigh like 140 pounds on a good day, so with that being the case, I want to be able to like feel confident with my rifle, and if it weighs 10 pounds, I'm gonna get a lot more tired a lot quickly if I'm trying to aim, especially if I'm not just aiming off a bench or something. But if I'm just aiming at something farther and I need to take my time and be precise, and I don't want to get shaky or anything like that. So with that being said, that's why I decided to like kind of change everything up. So if you don't mind all the weight and having your rifle weigh 10, 11, 12 pounds or whatever, then I guess this topic doesn't even really matter. You can put whatever you want on there. But with an LPVO, I just don't think you even really need it. Now obviously it's still nice to have a backup, if you're actually in war or something like that. Now if this was my home defense gun, it would be different. But I use a different gun for home defense. Hopefully I never even have to use my home defense gun, but in any case, this isn't what I have by my bed. So if I did, it would be set up completely different because I would have like a little lightweight red dot on here, and then I would have some iron sights, and it would probably be on a quick detach mount, because the problem is if you have a red dot and for some reason, even though modern ones are really reliable and all that, but if for some reason that battery is dead or just the electronics fail and it just doesn't turn on, then you have nothing. I mean, obviously you still just have an empty circle basically because your dot is gone. Then you could use your iron sights. If you wanted to, you can use it straight through the red dot if you have it set up that way. Or you could just use the quick detach mount on the red dot to take that off and flip up your iron sights, and then you're good to go. So if that's how you have your rifle set up with a red dot and it's more of like your home defense gun, then sure, have the quick detach mount and have the backup irons. But if you have an LPVO and it's not your home defense gun, then I feel like all that just adds weight, because typically a mount that doesn't have like the quick detach stuff going on is going to be more lightweight, because that just adds more components and it just makes the mount typically like probably at least twice as heavy. And so for me, I had my rifle set up with a LPVO and a quick detach mount and the irons for a while, and even though I loved how it looked and I loved like the potential capabilities of the rifle and all that, just realistically speaking, and again, how this isn't my home defense gun or anything like that, I just thought it was kind of silly and just unnecessary, and specifically for me, just too heavy. And you might be thinking, well, why don't you just work out and get a little bit buffer, and instead of having these little tiny arms, I mean, you know, so but I mean, I can, and I do work out, but at the same time, people who don't know this, I've had 4 open heart surgeries, so I'm actually not supposed to push my heart that hard. They've told me to not lift super heavy weights and all that, because when you do that, it creates like more pressure on your heart temporarily, and so I don't want to strain it or do anything like that. And everyone has their reasons why they might want like a more lightweight rifle setup. And again, if you're doing the red dot, then you can have the quick detach and the backup irons, and it'll probably weigh the same or lighter than my setup. But if you do want an LPVO like this so that you can hit targets a little further, a little quicker, I think it's just smart to shave all that weight down so you're not carrying something that weighs too much. So I mentioned why it might be a good idea to have the quick detach mount and the backup irons if you're running like a little red dot, because like I said, if it goes out, you have nothing. But with an LPVO, even if the illuminated part of the reticle fails, you still have an actual reticle because it's etched on there. And so I just don't think you need backup irons, because worst case scenario, battery dies, electronics fail somehow, I still have a reticle. So, and again, this isn't my home defense gun. You know, on my home defense gun, like I said, I would have a red dot with that whole setup. But I just don't think you need it if you're running an LPVO. Save yourself the weight so you can make up for the fact that you do have a bigger optic on there. And yeah, that's just my opinion. But go ahead and tell me in the comments down below why you think I'm wrong, or just give me your opinion on, you know, maybe what you think works or doesn't work and how you've got your rifle set up, because I'm always curious to see how different people do things and how different people have their rifles set up. But yeah, I mostly wanted to make this video to start the conversation and just kind of throw my opinion out there and see what you guys think. But with that being said, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.